Good afternoon and welcome to RMU Live. Today is Monday, October 12th. I'm Ethan Morrison.
And I'm Colby Sherwin. Here's what's happening now. With 40,000 new COVID-19 cases in the United States on Friday, the all-time record has been broken. The previous record was set on April 24th at 30,400. The states that have been hit the hardest have been Arizona, Texas, and Florida. Yesterday, Allegheny County had a bit of a surge with 1,016 new cases and 5 deaths. This brings the total number of cases to be 1,077 and 8,426 deaths by COVID-19. Students and faculty and staff are encouraged to use the self-screening app Campus Clear every day before going to campus or leaving your residence hall. The app will ask you if you're feeling healthy or showing any symptoms that would cause you to stay at home or see a doctor. Once you complete the self-screening, you will receive a notification saying if you're good to go on campus, stay home, or seek medical help. The app can be downloaded on the App Store or the Google Play Store.
As of October 9th, there are 13 positive cases on the campus of Robert Morris. Currently, 3 students and 1 employee is in isolation, and 11 students and employees are in quarantine. An event that will be taking place all week is Wellness Week. It will be taking place during the October 12th to October 16th. Some great activities for mental and physical health. All sessions will be 30 minutes and will be virtually links will be emailed out.
RMU's new Shared Income Agreement is a new tool to help students reduce loan debt. The new Colonial Success Fund gives thousands to students. They will then pay a fixed percentage of their income after graduation.
The RMU chapter of Beta Gamma Sigma, the Academic Honor Society in the School of Business, has earned the highest honor status for the 2019-2020 academic year. It is the highest possible distinction for over 600 Beta Gamma Sigma chapters worldwide. RMU Beta Gamma Sigma is also eligible for the Outstanding Chapter of the Year award. 2 band members, Kristen Davis and Joshua Horn, have been awarded the AEA Distinguished Scholars Scholarship from the National Council of Kappa Kappa Psi, which is the honorary band fraternity. Both students are active members in the RMU bands, the new Gamma chapter at Robert Morris University. To fill us in on more RMU-related content, let's toss it over to Cameron Macario to give us the latest on Colonial sports.
Cameron, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. In the world of RMU sports, we have had a lot going on this past week. The softball team held an inter-squad scrimmage known as the Colonial College World Series as Team Hacking and Attacking took on Colonial Cobras. Team Hacking and Attacking won Game 1 by a score of 5-4, and in Game 2, Hacking and Attacking had a huge game from senior Natalie Higgins. She hit 2 home runs and had 4 RBIs on the day. In Game 3, the Colonial Cobras snuck out a win with a late run by Danielle Jason in the bottom of the 6th inning. Game 4 will be held Thursday at 4 p.m. Over to women's lacrosse now. They have announced their captains for the upcoming season. Goaltender Caitlin Miller, attacker Mackenzie Gandy, and midfielder Hannah Miller will be the captains for the RMU's 2021 season. Congrats, girls. Last week, Chris King announced that RMU football would be traveling to take on James Madison February 27th. James Madison was ranked number 2 last year in the FCS, and this will be a tough opponent for the Colonials, as last time they took on James Madison was in 2018, and they suffered a brutal 73-7 loss. That will do it for Colonial Sports this week. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thanks, Cameron. Since it is Columbus Day, and RMU Century Media contributor Jonah Hoyt aired a package about the Christopher Columbus statue last week, there is developing news in the story. Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto recommended the removal of the Christopher Columbus statue from Schenley Park. The statue should be temporarily stored elsewhere until determining a new private location where it can be displayed. Peduto stated in a letter to the Art Commission, quote, "After much thought and prayer, I believe it is now time for us to focus on the Columbus statue to the Italian-American culture while acknowledging the wreckage that slavery and racism has done to America," end quote. And there is also news that it has now been wrapped in plastic and now being transported away. 1 person has died while 2 others were taken to the hospital after a cement truck was involved in a multi-vehicle crash Monday morning in Pittsburgh's South Side neighborhood. The crash involved a minivan, the cement truck, and a parked car, and just happened before 7:30 a.m. around the South 18th Street and Crossman Street. The van and truck collided head-on, and then the van struck the unoccupied car that was parked on the street. A Brentwood breakfast spot is taking on the Allegheny County Health Department in the federal court over coronavirus orders as filed for bankruptcy. Inspectors tried to shut down the Cracked Egg on August 11th, sending a letter that read, quote, "An inspection of your facility on August 11, 2020 indicates that an imminent hazard to the public health," end quote. Kimberly Wagman, the owner of the establishment, said that she closed down for the required week, but then decided to reopen because she feels like she is doing the right thing. Consumers around the world have had more embraced online shopping, and experts say there's no going back.
A research firm has estimated that U.S. e-commerce sales would increase to $710 billion this year. Globally, online sales are expected to rise more than 16% to nearly $4 trillion. Retailers with a large online presence like Amazon and Walmart are doing well, while others that rely heavily on mall sales or haven't fully adapted to online shopping are facing extinction. Experts say the longer the pandemic goes on, it's more likely customers will stick to their new shopping habits, such as curbside pickup and home deliveries.
Yesterday at 5:30, Pittsburgh police responded to a shooting call at the 300th block of East McClinner Avenue. Once officers arrived, they found evidence of a shooting. Their investigation then found that the victim walked to the hospital. Pocono police were called to Tyrone Johnson Jr.'s apartment on Friday at 2:30. They found the bodies of 28-year-old Amir Moore and 29-year-old Shadea Moore. Police say Johnson told them he was on LSD. He then shot his siblings and tried to shoot himself.
Now let's toss it over to Austin Bechtold in our weather studio to give us a picture of what we can expect to see outside today.
Austin, what do you have for us?
Thank you, guys. Today's weather out here it's pretty windy out here, as you can tell by my papers, and my hair will be flying around pretty good out here. Today's high is 70 degrees, even though it really doesn't feel like it right now with the wind. The low is 51 degrees, and even though we are seeing some darker clouds out here with the sun really not peeking through, the chance of rain is only at 15% with the humidity at 89. Today's hourly forecast, 69 degrees at 3 p.m., a couple hours from now, and it's going to get darker as the day goes on. At 6 p.m., it'll be 66 degrees, and it will get colder increasingly. At 9 o'clock, it will be 61 degrees. Now we'll send it back into the studio. Colby and Ethan.
Thanks, Austin. Coming up after the break, the First Lady of Pennsylvania was verbally assaulted.
And Republican voter registration has started to rise in Pennsylvania. Welcome back to RMU Live. We had a bit of a mistake. It is the Second Lady of Pennsylvania, not the first. Emergency crews found a 17-year-old victim suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest. The victim was not conscious but still breathing. They were taken to a local hospital for more information. More information is to come. President Donald Trump will return to PA. His campaign announced that there will be a rally on Tuesday. It will be at the John Martha Airport. Doors will open at 4 p.m. and the event will begin at 7. Masks will be required and will be given out to those who do not have one. The president's doctor, Dr. Connolly, says he is good to go and has no symptoms.
2 people are facing charges after climbing up the arches of the Roberto Clemente Bridge and forced it to be shut down for most of the morning on Sunday. 15 protesters closed the bridge around 8:30 a.m. 24-year-old William Howson and 28-year-old Chelsea Leffer are expected to face charges. Fire crews cut down the line the 2 protesters used to try to rappel from the banner. They refused to come down while they were about 50 feet above the street. Voters in Allegheny County who have registered to vote by mail have been sent the wrong ballots, county officials said late on Friday. The Elections Division posted a message on the website saying that it had received inquiries from about 20 voters who said they have received their mail-in or absentee ballot packets, but discovered that they received the wrong ones. The county said those affected should email the Elections Division at the elections contact at allegheny.us or call the number 412-350-4500. As of now, the county has said that the state voter registration system was to blame.
A record number of PA voters have changed their registration. In the last 4 years, PA has been more Democratic, but this year it has been more Republicans have gained 100,000 voters. Statewide, University of Pittsburgh professor Kristen Katherak said, quote, "You have a lot of people who were registered Democrats, but then changed their registration to vote Republican. A lot of those people are changing their registration," end quote. With so many voters by mail-in ballot this year, many of PA's biggest stars explained how to do so. A video on Twitter by former Pittsburgh Pirates and current Philadelphia Philly outfielder Andrew McCutchen. He had some help from Juju Smith-Schuster, McKinnon Klickenberg, and Michael Keaton, all joined to help.
During a time where Americans are facing a virus lethal to the elderly, we are also seeing the oldest candidates in the country's history running for president. RMU Century Media reporter John Blinn tells us what would happen if the health threat were to interfere in the election.
In November, Americans will be voting for the oldest candidates the country has ever seen. And with President Donald Trump recovering from COVID-19, some Americans began wondering what would happen if either candidate died before the election. History professor Soren Fanning explains what the American people could expect in that situation.
If a major party candidate dies before the election, then that party, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, they would have to hold an emergency meeting in which delegates from all the states, all the state parties, would get together and nominate a replacement. And it is not at all required that they nominate the vice presidential nominee.
With the election only a few weeks away, it seems unlikely that either candidate would not see Election Day. However, there are procedures set for if the presidential-elect would die before being sworn in.
Ironically, if either candidate were to die between December 13th and in the inauguration, then it's simple. At that point, they would be president-elect. So if they were to die, then the vice president-elect would automatically become president-elect.
Fanning expressed a concern about a specific time in between Election Day and when the Electoral College meets, where the death of the president-elect would grant the victorious party a great deal of power.
If the person who won the general election as president were to die before the Electoral College meets, theoretically, that is giving that party then a blank check to put whomever they wish to in as president. Now, that said, it is highly likely that they would simply go with the vice presidential nominee.
Overall, Fanning believes that both candidates should be open about their health to maintain trust with the American people.
The most important job either of those two gentlemen can do is to commit to being transparent and open, at the very least, about your physical health.
Since contracting COVID-19, President Donald Trump has said that he is on the road to recovery, even saying on Twitter that he does not believe that he can spread the disease to others.
One is left hospitalized after a shooting in Newcastle Saturday night. It took place around midnight near the Newcastle Brothers Market. Crews found the 17-year-old victim suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest. They were unconscious but able to breathe. More information is to come. To get more information from Pittsburgh and Moon Township and RMU, be sure to visit thecenturymedia.com. To see the latest on Colonial Sports, you can check out colonialsportsnetwork.com.
When we come back, Cameron Macariola will break down the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to RMU Live. A watch party was held in the Hill District yesterday. It was at the Shop and Save parking lot, and it was set up with the Steelers and Michelle Kenny, mother of Anton Rose Jr. Visitors were asked to bring chairs, masks, and IDs. They were able to register to vote. Former Pittsburgh Steeler great Santonio Holmes had his 4th annual Strike Out Sickle Cell campaign. The event took place on Saturday. He also delivered orders to customers from Caliente Pizza.
The NFL is only in Week 5, but it is forced to throw part of its schedule out the window. Due to the coronavirus outbreak in Tennessee, it has forced the NFL to revamp its schedule. Some teams benefited more than others. Take the Buffalo Bills, for example. They were playing Tuesday night against the Titans and were supposed to play again Thursday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. That has now changed, however, as they will now face the Chiefs next Monday night, so the Bills have more time to rest and recover before the next game. More games got moved, such as the Miami Dolphins, Los Angeles Chargers, and New England Patriots. Fans were allowed back at Heinz Field this Sunday to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Philadelphia Eagles. There were 5,550 tickets available to season ticket holders after the state's new gathering limits to allow 7,500 people in an outdoor facility that had an occupancy of 10,000 plus. This was the first sporting event fans could attend in the region. They had to wear a mask, sit from their socially distant pods, and wash their hands regularly. Now we are going to toss it over to Cameron Macariola to give us a deeper look into the latest sports. Cam, take it away.
Thank you, guys. Speaking of Steelers, the Steelers are 4-0 for the first time since 1979. That's hard to believe with all the success they had. They defeated their cross-state rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, by a score of 38-29. They will be looking to move to 5-0 this Sunday versus the Browns. Over to the ice, the Penguins' offseason is in full swing as they completed their 2020 draft and made some big moves. They have traded two-time Stanley Cup champion goalie Matt Murray to the Ottawa Senators for a draft pick and a prospect. On the hardwood, the NBA Finals came to a close last night as the LA Lakers defeated the Heat in 6 games. Game 6 ended with a score of 106-93. LeBron has gotten his 4th ring with the 3rd team and is 2 away from Jordan's 6. LeBron said last night he wants his respect. Did he get it? From one bubble to another, the MLB playoffs are in full swing as we have the NLCS and ALCS kicking off this week. In the AL, we have the Astros back to their winning ways, taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. And in the NL, the Braves take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. From the way 2020 as playoffs have been going, LA and Tampa have had some very good years. In some sad news, MLB Hall of Famer Joe Morgan passed away today. You may remember him from Sunday Night Baseball from the early 2000s. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Cameron. Can't get enough sports? Visit us on Podbeam at the RMU Century Media to hear all sorts of sports-related podcasts, or tune into the RMU Radio Live app by using the Radio FX app. Like many events already this year, the upcoming Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony will be virtual, but it will still take a lot to pack star power.
Bruce Springsteen, Miley Cyrus, and Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton are just some of the announced guest list. Dave Grohl and Gwen Stefani will join others as well to honor the 2020 class. The induction ceremony was originally set for May, but was pushed back due to the pandemic. The hope was to hold a live event next month, but organizers realized it would have to go virtual. The 2020 Rock and Roll induction class will include Depeche Mode, Whitney Houston, the Doobie Brothers, 9 Inch Nails, and the Notorious B.I.G. and T-Rex.
The ceremony premieres on HBO November 7th. The Jerome Bettis Grill 36 has remained closed since March, but Steelers Nation is in no danger of losing the restaurant and the bar in the shadow of Heinz Field. A substantial remodel will begin in February with a tentative reopening date of April 1st, according to Howard Schwiller, managing partner of Bettis Grill and president of the Spritz parent company Century Ventures Incorporated. Bettis' business manager Jamal Dokes said, quote, "We love the restaurant. We think it brings character to the North Shore. It is a fabric of the community, and we love having it over there," end quote.
Popular Pittsburgh bar Ham Bones will be closing down for good. This is due to the death of owner Jeffrey Holt. This is after 35 years of business. The staff said they wanted to keep the doors closed. Let's talk turkey. You can expect Thanksgiving centerpiece to be smaller this year.
During the pandemic, fewer people will likely be around Thanksgiving tables, and that means many households are looking to buy smaller turkeys. In response, grocery stores, distributors, and farmers are rethinking their own long-standing Thanksgiving traditions. For example, chains like Giant Eagle and Sue Leonard's are buying smaller birds, and Walmart, the largest grocer in the U.S., is increasing its availability of boneless and bone-in turkey breasts, which amounts to less meat than a full bird. And a commodity research firm says retailers and distributors will be buying more hens, which are smaller than toms, or a male bird. And while the birds may be smaller, experts still think about 40 million turkeys will be eaten around the holiday.
Today also marks Canadian Thanksgiving, celebrated since November 6 of 1879. It signifies a celebration of being thankful for what one has. So happy Thanksgiving to those who are watching over the border.
After the break, Austin Bechtold is back in our weather station to give us a full look on what to expect this week.
Stay tuned for more.
Welcome back to RMU Live. Let's toss it over to Austin Bechtold to give us an outlook on the weather. Austin?
Thank you, Ethan. Today's weather today, we have a high of 70 degrees. It's going to be hotter than it was the last couple of days. Right now, we have a low of 51. Currently, the temperature is about 62, 63 degrees. right now. So there's only a 50% chance of rain, so I would not expect any rain, even though it is dark and really cloudy outside with really not much of the sun peeking out. Humidity today is 89%. Now let's go to today's hourly forecast. Right now, coming up in a couple hours at 3 p.m., the sun will be peeking out, but it will be 69 degrees, and that's the hottest that it's going to be the rest of the day. 66 degrees at 6 p.m. As you can see, it's going to be very cloudy with not much sun at 6 o'clock, and as it gets later on into the day at 9 p.m., it will be cloudy. Continue on into the night, and 61 degrees will be the high. Tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be a little colder than it is supposed to be today. 65 degrees is the high tomorrow, and 45 degrees is going to be the low. It's going to be potentially pretty cold if it hits that 45-degree low, with a 20% chance of rain and a 57% humidity. So again, I would not expect any rain, even though it is going to be a little dark and cloudy tomorrow. Today, coming up on the 5-day forecast, Wednesday and Thursday are going to be the hottest days of the week. 68 degrees on Wednesday with the sun peeking out a little bit behind the clouds. Thursday and Friday, it's going to be a little rainy. 69 degrees, the highest of the week on Thursday with a low of 42. And the rain will continue on into Friday and get a lot colder. 51 degrees with a low of 35 heading into the weekend with a chance of rain, but a little bit of the sun peeking out outside of the clouds. High of 53 degrees on Saturday and a high of 57 on Sunday with the lows in the low 40s. That's your weather for today. Send it back over to Ethan and Colby. What else do we got today, guys?
To get even more TV-related content, be sure to follow up with our other shows for the latest on arts and entertainment. You can watch RMU Extra Mondays at 7. Have a laugh with an SNL-like show featuring your favorite RMU students Wednesdays for RMU Live, or check out Colonial Sports Center at 9:30 on Fridays. Be sure to stay up to date on everything happening around campus by tuning into RMU Focused at 1. Well, Ethan, today is Canadian Thanksgiving, and the one thing I'm thankful for from Canada is Chase Claypool with his 4 touchdowns yesterday in the win over the Eagles.
Yeah, just a crazy game yesterday. Kind of a little bit of a scare, but you know, it's the Steelers. Seems to happen like every week. But yeah, great team win yesterday. Proved to 4-0, first time since '79. As you know, they won the Super Bowl that year, so it's looking pretty good for the Steelers.
And it looks like we have some nice weather coming up from what we heard from Austin. So be sure to get out and enjoy the day.
Oh yeah, the weather's nice. A lot warmer than it should be. Should be really nice weather. Temperature's really going up lately. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go outside, maybe shoot the basketball around over at the NAC. So you know, pretty nice. Colby, how about you? What are you gonna do outside?
I'm gonna be studying for my midterms.
Okay.
I got a lot of them coming up, so that's what I'll be doing.
Maybe
outside.
Put down a nice little blanket outside, sit down with your laptop, and study for your midterms. How about that?
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today on RMU Live. I am Ethan Morrison.
And I'm Colby Sherwin. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you next week.